Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here live. You guys probably have never heard of this beautiful man, Austin here. But just to give you a brief introduction, we started chatting a few months ago, and Austin is like a badass at social media marketing, influencer marketing. He's a consultant, a strategist. He has his own company out of California, correct?
Yeah.
Where you're at now?
Yep.
And Austin's passion is like truly connecting influencers with like big and growing brands over social media. So Austin doesn't do a lot of these type of interviews, so you're gonna hear a lot of like first from him here, and I'm expecting a lot of gold to come out of your mouth here.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm so excited. Daxi is absolutely incredible at what he does. So when he's like, dude, I wanted people to be on this podcast and bring value like no other, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to work with Daxi.
And we're also you also have your own podcast coming out here, or it just came out.
Yeah. So I do a podcast. It's called Go the Distance. It's with my girlfriend and I. She's the influencer. I'm just the fun part of it. But we did it. It's honestly, I reached out to Daxi. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And he kind of approved my idea. The podcast guru approved my idea. So I was super stoked. But just 10 minutes of honestly talking about relationships, fitness, Disney. We're big Disney people, and just kind of what's going on in the world. So super fun. It's 10 minutes of just laughs. Like it's just funny. It's just fun. So it's called Go the Distance with Emma and Austin. Super fun. We released it last week. We've got 2 episodes up, and it's just kind of, we upload when it's once a week we upload, and it's just fun. So
cool. Yeah. We'll talk about more about your podcast towards the second half. But first, for people who don't know who you are, Austin, can you explain why you're awesome and what you do, what you've done?
Yeah, heck yeah. So I have been doing social media since I was 18. I'm 29. So I'm doing it for a little over like 11 years. Started with MySpace, started running my friends' MySpaces accounts and like their business pages. And then I moved on to Facebook. And then when Instagram came out, I just knew I wanted to work on the social platform. I love the idea of connecting people from either to an opportunity, a product, a service, an idea, a musician, a band, whatever it was, connecting people. And I could do that all over the world. So I got into it, and I started, working with Instagram, and I started working with this thing called influencers and content creating and taking photos. And, I learned how to make revenue from social platforms. I learned how to really work with brands and what brands were looking for on social platforms through influencers, for customers looking through brands pages, and really dived in. And I think what separated, and it's been fun for me this whole time, is that I am an extremely like extroverted person. I have a really hard time behind desks like all day long, and that's it's what we do. We sit behind desks. So I have found this really cool way to not necessarily be so always behind my screen, because I'm constantly connected with people all the time. So it's either, am I doing a photo shoot for a brand? Am I working with an influencer trying to, work with this different brand? Are we strategizing for Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest for this brands? So I just started working with brands and thinking, hey, I'll manage your social media. I'll bring you influencers. And the biggest thing, the best contributing factor I can give you is I'm consistent. The quality is consistent. You will always have posts. They'll get near or niche towards your audience. And I'll bring you quality influencers who aren't just taking photos, and saying, here's the product and they get paid X amount of dollars. No, like it's real value, real ROI. So I love social, plain and simple. I love social media. I love the idea of connecting people. And to be honest, that's how I've literally met some of my best friends. Time I met you was through social media. And it's just been, everyone's like, there's 2 sides of it. There's social media is toxic, and there's social media is, incredible. And I'm very much on it is only toxic if you make it toxic. But my whole career, my whole life, and so many others have been changed through social media. And it's just, I love it. So
yeah, it's pretty insane how like everyone in my circle does not live in my city. Like that would not have happened like past generation. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. It's so cool, man.
Yeah. What's up, Carla? What's up, Larissa? Give me a hashtag live if you guys are here. It really helps out. Austin, I want to ask, what do you define as a quality influencer? Like what are like the key things you look at? And also like, what are your stance on influencers nowadays? As far as ugly.
Yeah. So this is what I look for. So I've worked with influencers for the past 4 years, and I've seen agencies come out that every which way. It's like, work with my agency, you'll get thousands of influencers, and that's all amazing. But for me, I really take the personal approach where every influencer that comes through my network or I recommend, I vet myself. I'm on a phone call. No matter what your level is, you're going to go through me, and it's going to be a personal relationship. So what I look for on an influencer is this. If you are trying to work with brands and you are trying to get their attention, where they either pay you money, give you free product, or give you, exposure, whatever, you have to go through the steps. You have to know, it's kind of like the job cycle. You have to know where you are in the influencer cycle. So whether you're an influencer for it's your podcast, or, you're trying to be, the next influencer, fitness star, beauty guru, whatever, you have to know where you are. So when you're started out, when you were in college or you're in high school, they say, okay, cool. What's the best way to get, your dream job? You want to get a job at Google. What do you have to do first? Well, you have to get the skills first. You have to get an internship, or you should get an internship. You have to have the skills first. You don't just go in and say, hey, I want this 6-figure coding job, but I've, coded, I look really good. I say I can code, but you have no experience in coding. So with an influencer, it's the exact same thing. If you want to be an influencer, go through the steps. So you don't just go to a brand and say, hey, I've got 20,000 followers. I've got 40,000 followers. Your follower count, it's irrelevant at that point. Brands want to know, does your page sell? So if I know that I'm beginning influencer, you want to know, okay, cool. You want to build yourself up, kind of like an internship. You go to a brand and say, look, I built my following up, but I have no experience selling. I have no analytics. So if you send me your product, I'll work for free. I'll promote it all you want and generate you sales. Amazing. So that's the first thing I look for, is has an influencer worked with brands before, and have they pushed product in a positive way where their audience is conditioned to buy from their profile. So that's a huge thing. If you're not pushing product, or you're not reviewing product on your page, your page is not groomed to buy from you. So when you randomly take, you say, okay, here's my brand new phone. I'm working with Apple now. Pick up your phone. No one's going to pick it up from you because they don't trust you. Your follower count may be high, but they don't trust your recommendations. So if you've worked with brands before, it's an automatic check. Beautiful. Why? Because your audience is more than likely conditioned to want to buy from you. Based off of that, when you post something, it's how you're posting it. So when I look for influence on their page, when they send me a page, like their Instagram page, the first thing everyone says is this: I have 100,000 followers. I have 40,000 followers. I have 20,000 followers. That's absolutely incredible. Because it's so black and white. It's like, I have followers, I can make money. It's not that simple anymore. Everyone knows if I want 100,000 followers, I can get 100,000 followers by tomorrow. It's not that simple. So I look for, in their comments specifically, I'm not really concerned about how many comments they have. I want to know what those types of comments are. So if someone in their shirt is wearing, a Lululemon shirt or a Gymshark shirt, in the comments, what are the comments saying? I think, girl or dude, hey dude, that shirt is awesome. Girl, that shirt is awesome. Where'd you get it? I want to try that too. What's the quality? I want to see people engaging on their page, saying what exactly they're talking about. It's exciting for them. It's exciting. And that to me speaks loads. I've had influencers who are 100,000 followers make 500 in sales, and I've had influencers who have 900 followers make 1,000 in sales because their audience is so engaged. So if you are an influencer and you want to work with brands, you have to have the experience of working with brands. How do you do that? You work for free. It's just that simple. Trade product for posts, for shout outs. And the more you build that, the more you resonate with that, that's when an influencer comes to me and says, I've worked with this brand, this brand, this brand, this brand, this brand, and I've sold this. It's like, not a problem, no brainer. What do you want? I got you. But when someone comes to me and says, I've got 50,000 followers and I'm active on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, it's like, that's amazing. And they want $500 cash for a post or to sponsor this, that doesn't make it. What is the ROI for me as the brand? I can I can take pictures all day long. Followers are great as long as those followers for a brand convert. So that's
freaking awesome. So like, how would you rank platforms right now as far as for connecting to brands or even finding influencers to work with, collaborate with?
Of course, Instagram's number one. I mean, of course. But you actually I'm working with someone you've actually worked with before, the Biz Ninja. He opened my Facebook groups are amazing depending on your niche and your audience. So definitely for mine, it goes Instagram, Facebook, and then Pinterest. I absolutely love Pinterest. And a big brand who actually turned that on to me was Gymshark. Massive company in the UK. The CEO is 24. Sold, he sold the CEO position. He's just amazing. But he started using Pinterest for product releases first. So he literally would release his brand new product on Pinterest first. And then all these people would flock to Pinterest, his Pinterest page, and he'd run ads on those pages because people want to see the product first. It was brilliant. But in terms of finding influencers, Instagram is the absolute best. Here's my biggest, this is like the secret that I use, and I don't tell anyone this. Is funny. I was actually on a call. They wanted to know what I do, and I didn't tell them what I do, but I'm going to tell you because so this is what I do. The biggest thing is how do you find influencers? Is it hashtags? Is it Googling and relevant, looking for lists or Facebook groups? Yes and no. I mean, I use all those. Of course, everyone does. Those are great. But the biggest tool and the biggest one that I've had success is in your niche, whatever niche you are, if you're fitness, if you're fashion, if you're a business entrepreneur, if you want to find good influencers, go to the influencers who are already currently crushing it and go through their comments, because people who know social media, know the algorithm, know that they need to engage on other people's platforms, especially the bigger people's platforms. They need to engage on those, and 9 times out of 10, those people want to be an influencer. So if you go to those the high influencers in your niche, go through their comments and pick out the ones. Just click on every single one and start reaching out. Why? Because those are the ones who are trying to emulate what that person or that brand is doing, and those are the hungry ones. If they're active on those people's platforms, they're hungry on their own, more than likely. So obviously, like someone like The Rock is not in a specific niche. He's just kind of an actor, something like that. But for instance, like Guru, if you go to James Charles' page, or if you're going to go to James Charles' page, you're going to find amazing beauty guru influencers. You go to Steve Cook's page, you're going to find fitness. Whitney Simmons, you're going to find fitness influencers who are absolutely crushing it. Dog influencers, if you have a pet, you go to the biggest pet influencers and find it. I cannot tell you how many people I have found through that method that's generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in influencer revenue because they were hungry and they wanted to be like this person. They needed the opportunity. So I said, yeah, I got it. You want to be like Whitney from Gymshark? Perfect. Let's crush it. I got you. So that's 100% the best tip that I can give.
I love that, dude. That's gold. Yeah, Gavin says right now too. That's gold right there, dude. I've actually gotten a lot of followers recently because I go to the biggest podcast accounts on Instagram, and I go straight to the comments. People asking questions, people making comments, 100%. And I comment on their comment because if they're engaging, then there's someone who's like passionate about whatever it is. It's
so easy.
Dude, and I said this on one of my past interviews. It's been a game of mine to play with YouTube comments and try to get the top comment, adding some sort of funny thing.
100%.
Because that's a lot of exposure. Comments is people underestimate comments.
Oh, 1,000%. And now with the Instagram, with algorithms being so tricky, if you're not constantly engaging your page, your percentage of when you actually post yourself, the percentage will greatly decline. So if from an influencer perspective, if they are active and commenting on these people and you see them more than once on different pages in your niche, then they're an active profile. That's what you want. And I cannot tell you, since working with that strategy, they're easy. There's no maybe I'll work, maybe not. No, it's yes, 100%. And that's, to be honest, the more they see your name, the more you're going to stick out. So if you just said, you just proved the point, you commented more, people your comments started going up, you started getting more followers because they started seeing you more often. Like, what does Daxi do? What's special about it? And they're like, oh wow, he does this. He builds people's podcasts. He's an amazing speaker. Perfect. Okay, love it. Let's do it. So yeah.
Awesome. Gavin has a question here, and it's kind of what my next question was.
Yeah.
He's asking, how can a brand approach beginning influencers to work with them? And I was going to ask you, what is because you said something interesting. You say you try to get them on the phone as quick as possible.
100%.
What does that look like? Okay.
Again, I have never. Okay, I don't. That's man. The person. I don't think the person watching. I don't think.
Can we release this, man?
I know. Yeah, 100%. No, it was a person I spoke to, and she didn't. She asked this, and I was like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. But that's because it didn't work out the way. Anyways, so this is my exact process for getting influencers. First off, it's a quality issue. So, for instance, I never DM an influencer from a brand page or my own page. Never DM them. Why? Because it's almost like you're not confident enough to send them the full package. So I always go the professional routes, kind of again, like you're in a job, you're trying to get a job. You don't just send them a message on the company, a message on Facebook or respond to their ad. You send them your resume, you send them an email. So I always send them an email. Always send an influencer that you care about an email. And this is a huge point. I need to make this. This is huge. And so to answer the question as well, these are influencers at the end of the day, no matter how you want to say it, they are people. If you treat them like people give people the respect that you give them. They will give you the world. They will give you 100 posts. They'll give you all their time. That's how it works. So you send them an email. And in that email, it's funny. I've gotten, we'll talk about Emma later because she's like my biggest creation for like influencers. But so you'll see all these brands send a generic email like, hi, my name is this. I would love to work with you. I saw your Instagram on this. No. So what you do is you send an email. And in that email, it's your name, and you introduce your company, and then you leave a space. And this space is it's a blank space that you fill in. What you do is you go to that influencer's profile, look through their photos, click a couple of them, and you put something specific about the influencer that you liked. So, for instance, if they are obsessed with their dog, scratch that, they're constantly obsessed with workouts, and people love their workouts. I would put, hey, so-and-so, thanks for checking out so-and-so nutrition, whatever. I really, really love the fact that you're so engaged with your workouts. Your audience seems to love it. I love the workouts you guys do on this. So a specific thing that you would only be able to see if you go to their posts. It is time consuming, but the percentage of influencers who respond to that it's astronomical. It's 60. I would say every time if I send 10 emails, 50% reply, just like that, and sign because of that. So you put something specific you like about them. And then you say, I would love to set up a call with you. And then tell them what you're offering right there. I can offer you free product. I can offer you commission. I can offer you no free product or no commission. I can offer you a free product. Would love to get off the phone with you to discuss how we can make this work. And it's a 5 to 10 minute phone call, really simple. But you build quality influencers like that. You build quality relationships. And since we're all entrepreneurs, we all do this. We all have multiple things going on. When you do this, you build a library for yourself so when an influencer works with you on one brand, they'll work with you on several brands. And that's very, very key in this day and age. Then again, when you recycle them for one brand, they'll never work with you again. And it gets a bad taste in their mouth. When you treat them with respect and you treat them like people, they will do anything for you because they trust you and you gave them opportunity, you gave them value, they're going to give it right back to you. So 100%, the email game is 100% that. What I do, I'm a big advocate of Trello. I have a whole Trello board. I just set the emails up in there and just copy and paste, write the one thing in, send. Copy and paste, write the one thing in, send. It's actually not that big of a process. It's very quick, but it's going that extra mile that really says, look, I as a brand care about you. I want to work with you. And you give me the results, I'm going to give you the results because that's my time. I'm going to give you the time of day. I'm going to give you the product, give you what you need to succeed. So that's the process right there. It's good.
Yeah, that's the law of reciprocity right there.
Yeah.
So email titles, I might have missed that. You just keep that like basic or?
Yeah, so it's I always put the name of the brand. Wow, sorry.
You're good.
Don't know why that's going off. Apparently it's wow. Sorry. Hello everyone. What is going on? Okay. So what I put is always the name of the brand and sponsorship. So I put the name of the brand and then sponsorship because why? I've never had one go to spam. So I've never had one go to spam. I'm so sorry, everybody. On my MacBook, clearly. I got you. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. So I always put the name of the brand and sponsorship, and that never goes to spam. It's very black and white. So when they see a brand, it's not no long title. It's just the name of the brand and the sponsorship. I've always had great success with that. No one's ever, again, if they open the email, it's always, if I get them, if they open it, they're good. It's that simple. So
gotcha. Yeah. So let's talk about the reverse. So if you're a micro influencer and you're trying to reach out to brands, collaborate, do you still recommend the same methods of communication?
So 100%, if I'm a micro influencer trying to reach out to a brand, you have to give them incentive. And a lot of times it depends on the level where the brand is. So I always, when an influencer comes to me and they just show me their followers and their engagement, it's like, sure, you want to work for, I'll give you product and you get a post 100%. But if you're a micro influencer trying to get the attention of brands, start reviewing products that you love on your page already. So, I have this Sony A6300. Perfect. I love the Sony A6300 because 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So now you're saying, look, here's my opinion on things. Trust my opinion. And it can be anything, household, anything. These sunglasses, this screwdriver, whatever. It doesn't matter. But then put it Instagram highlight on your stories, on your highlight on your story that says brand or my recommendations or the things I love. And so when brands go to that, they can click it and say, oh my gosh, they reviewed this one got a discount code. Perfect. They've worked with it before. So essentially set yourself up for success before you go into it. Have your resume, which is your social profiles, ready to go, looking great before you go into a brand. I've had so many times that people just rely on their follower count, but followers are irrelevant. With the algorithm only showing 10% of your audience your posts anyway, that's irrelevant. You could have 100,000 followers, but you're only getting 1,000 likes. It's irrelevant. What's more important to me and every brand is, what is my ROI? So for every influencer, think this: what can I give to a brand that they already don't have? Maybe that's more engaged followers. Maybe that's better, some new great content. Maybe that's sales, 100%, whatever you're going to do. So you have to be groomed, ready to go first. Make sure the Instagram highlights are there. Make sure you have started recommending products already in your story. And then if you post an outfit, say you post a selfie, post what's in the selfie. Is it your shirt? Is it your makeup? Is it your hat? Is it your background? Post the stuff so people say, oh, that's cool. Oh, you wear that? Cool. I like that too. Start recommending things and you will be successful.
Yeah. Did my screen go black?
No.
It shows it's black on my side.
No, you know,
guys. Okay. It shows it's black, but let's pretend like it's not. Okay. So before I want to get into your podcast a little bit here, but before we get to that, can we talk about 3 big tips or recommendations you have, best practices for people who are running a business account on social media, whether that's through content or everything? Yeah.
100%. Yes. So business accounts are even more challenging, and it's super fun because when I got my first business, I went to college for literally none of this, but it's so funny. Like the traits I learned there really kind of carried over into this. So when I started running business pages, here's what I learned real quick. Consistency is key. Consistency is key. And you think about it like this: your business page, forget your likes, forget your comments, followers. Create the image for yourself. So for instance, when you think business, you think Yelp. Okay, you're a restaurant, you go to Yelp. If you're a business account, your Instagram and your Facebook are your Yelp accounts. A conditioned customer through social media, if they're buying through Facebook ads, is potentially more than likely going to go try and find your social platforms for social proof that you as a company are legit. So if you look at some of the bigger names in Yeti or Patagonia or was one I was looking at yesterday, Hydro Flask, these pages, likes and comments, they're okay, but their content is consistent and it's amazing. So you look at it and you're so visually stimulated that you're like, whoa, I love this. I want this. You don't even forget the comments and likes. The brand is active. The brand looks cool. The Hydro Flask is in the middle of the ocean or it's in the beach, whatever. Make your page consistent with content and with quality captions. Make sure that you're constantly, every single day, you are posting on that page. Absolutely key tip. Number 1, make sure you're posting every single day. Number 2, make sure you are highlighting your raving fans, your raving customers. Make sure you're highlighting them. Now, there's a few ways you can do that. There's two ways that I really focus on. And it depends on you as a brand. 1, you're either going to repost people's pictures on your actual feed. The pro to that is it's easy. You just take it, you post it, you say thanks so much, quick. The con is it disrupts the aesthetic of your page and the quality of content of your page. So it depends on you as a brand. If you doesn't bother you, beautiful. I had a conversation yesterday. I was talking to a brand. I was like, and they were like 100%. No, it does matter. If it doesn't bother you, repost. If it does matter, don't. But that you got to get a content creator and take it consistent content. The other way to do is through the Instagram story. Reposts are absolutely the easiest thing in the world. If they're tagging you, give them that satisfaction, that instant gratification that you reposted them. Make sure you are consistently doing that. And number 3, get yourself as the business owner or your staff involved. And what I mean by that is brands now are essentially taking it a step further, where they want the consumer to trust their brand just a little bit more than everyone else in their competition. So what are they doing? They're showing face. People trust people at the end of the day. They're showing face. So a perfect example, 2 brands that we can highlight real quick, Away Luggage, and that they're absolutely dominating the luggage industry, and Vital Proteins both do this. Their Vital Proteins is absolutely taking over everything both of them do this in an amazing way. They bring their staff onto the Instagram stories weekly, talking about their favorite things, their favorite products, their favorite places to travel, what they love about each product. When a new product comes out, the staff comes on and says, guys, brand new product coming out. We have a new lens coming out. It does this, perfect, whatever. They do that. And that right there builds that trust from consumer to brand that says, I'm not buying from my screen anymore. I'm buying from Kyle, who just showed me how great this product is. And brands who take that step start early. If you don't want to be the face, that's amazing. Bring someone else in, get a micro influencer, get an intern, whatever. Bring someone in that can be a face to review your product to you. Those 3 things on business accounts separate business accounts from in your niche. Go look at any of the top brands in any niche. You'll see the same thing. Of those 3, they're doing all 3 of those things. More than likely, their content is consistent with quality. There's no reposts. Reposts go in the story. They're constantly highlighting their fans, and they're showing face. They're showing the trust. They're showing their staff. They're showing people using their product to build that relationship. So do those 3 things on your business account, and you will just be, it's all good.
Yeah, that last point is so big, like the face thing. Like I even had a friend, and they're like the fastest growing companies now have all grown because the person like Gary Vee and his social media company, and then Bulletproof Coffee, and then like all these companies just because the face behind it. But I had a buddy who had a big e-commerce company, and he knew the value of that, but it was like a fishing e-commerce company, and he wasn't a fisher, so he hired someone to be the face. And like a real cool guy who was like into fishing, and it worked a ton for all their advertisements and stuff. So, dude, I want to talk about your journey right now into podcasting. Like, how's it been so far? Like, can you tell people a little bit about what it's about and what's been like the funnest part so far of you like creating this?
So for me, going into podcasting was I love to talk. Like I said, very extrovert. I have to be with people. I love that aspect. So I was like, I've always wanted to do it. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So when podcasting first started, it was a long time ago. And I was like, I'm not there yet. I got to do some other things. And then it kind of just evolved, started growing. And then suddenly it was almost like you had an Instagram, Facebook profile, you got a podcast at this point, or at least you're starting, but you're in the thought process. So I thought, okay, I could do a few things. One, I'm the face, me personally, like I realized I'm going to be the person behind the face. I'm not going to be the person in front of it. I'm going to be behind the camera. I'm going to be behind the influencer. I'm going to do that. So I could do one of 2 things. I can try and build myself up in the business category, talk all about social media marketing like everyone else is trying to do. And I'm like, no, that's okay. I don't need to do that. There's so many, great people out there. I don't need to step on those toes. I love fitness. I'm a runner. I've been doing fitness for a long time. I'm a second-degree black belt. I did that for 7 years. Wow. Yeah, I know, right? Fun. Yeah, but I can talk about that. I can talk about fitness, and I'm like, or I can talk about like what I love, and that is I'm very passionate about fitness. I love my girlfriend. Probably should put that first. So just edit that later. Put that first. Girlfriend first. I love Disney. I'm a big Disney fan. I think honestly, Walt Disney is one of my biggest inspirations in terms of culture building. It's amazing what he's done, and I love the idea of kind of like bringing a positive spin to what's going on in the world from not like no left, no right, just like point blank, like from love, like what is that? So I loved all that stuff. And then my attention span is about 15, 20 minutes. I always like, if you ever like Ty Lopez always says this, skim the books to find the golden nuggets. Well, I skim podcasts to find the golden nuggets because I didn't want to listen to the whole thing. So I was like, I don't want to listen to it for an hour. maybe other people don't either, even though the value's probably all there. I just won't do it because I can't sit still long enough or whatever. So I was like, I'll make 10 minutes. You're in the car, you're in traffic, 10 minutes where you're just going to hear something silly and you're going to laugh, or you're going to hear an opinion. And, you know, my girlfriend and I mean, Emma's definitely the influencer of the two. So I was like, let's do it together. And it'll be her podcast and my podcast. We called it Go the Distance from Hercules. We did that. I called it that. And we basically talk about, we're pretty fun. Like we have good personalities back and forth. Like we're very sarcastic. We have no problem making fun of each other. It's good. So first episode we did was dating, our age gaps in relationships. And it was like all about, cause I'm like 6 years, I'm 6 years older than she is. So I was like funny, like, you know, we started dating, but I'm 6 foot, she's 5'11". So no one ever questions the age gaps. We had a bunch of stories, and honestly, I had no idea people actually would listen, and that was crazy. Like people listened to it and like messaged me and they're like, "Oh, like this was funny and this is cool." I'm like, "Okay, like what's up?" And it's cool because there's so much you can do through podcasts because it's more personal. It's about as personal as you can get besides like an Instagram story, but I had no idea the value of that. And I think that, you know, when you and I had spoken, and I've spoken to a few other people too, you guys all tried telling me like, this is important, like it's going to do good, just do it this way. And I was like, you know, maybe, I don't know, but I was wrong. And it's so cool. I love it. I love it so far. I'm hoping to continue venturing. The biggest issue I've had, and I probably assume the rest of everyone is too, is just maintaining, it's kind of like social, but it's maintaining that schedule, because I didn't know what I was doing on, you know, how do you record it? How do you upload it? Which site do you use to upload it? That's a big one. I did not. And so and that's all of this. It's so many questions. And it's been crazy though. It's been good.
Yeah. I love that when people listen to a podcast, it's like intentional.
Yeah.
They're like committing to it. Like I'm about to listen to this. I'm going to focus on it. It's not like social media where you're being fed.
And
it's
you
like
off. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're focusing, like you can't listen to a podcast and not listen to a podcast pretty much. Like you're listening to it, you know? Yeah, dude, what helps a lot, cause I know a lot of people have that struggle in the start, like, oh, I don't know where to do this. And it's all new. Just setting up like checklists for the whole process in Trello. Yeah. So, you know, okay, I record these episodes. This is everything that has to happen, and it makes it easier. So you don't have to think about it every time.
Yeah.
And it can be simple, like in the start. And then you can always hire someone to do the simple stuff, just uploading and whatever. Right. Cool, man. Do you guys plan on like ever interviewing people, or is it just gonna be solo, you two?
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe, yeah, but we thought about that too, and this is fun. We haven't talked about this with anyone, but it's super. I think what we're gonna do is, we do know some, you know, really great people in the spaces and stuff. But to be honest, I have a lot of great. I'm in California. I'm from California. I grew up here, went to high school here. I have some pretty good hometown business. I love him because he definitely goes after people I've never heard of ever, and I never know who they are, which always makes me like, okay, like this is, but I don't, you know, and I think what we want to do is we will bring on, I think hopefully at one point, maybe some like more experienced ones, but I want to do more personal, like with my friends, and just bring on and have great conversation and funny conversation. It's kind of like, I love my biggest inspiration for this is David Dobrik's Views podcast with Jason Nash. I love David Dobrik, and I think he's an amazing creator, and he just does it for fun. Like he talks about, and like all his guests are even, now he's bringing guests on, and it's even weirder. So I love it. I think it's so cool. So maybe one day, but that's what I think we're planning on doing that. So.
Yeah. It's always cool. Like when you can use it to interview people that you already like, you know, too.
Yeah. Heck
like
yeah.
Other Disney influencers or whatever, just to get them on and just talk and like, you know, chop it up. Cool, man. So we're gonna wrap up here. I have a few rapid fire questions that are pretty fun to learn about people from. You cool with it? All right. Let's do it. All right. So who is your biggest mentor in life, and what has he taught you? I feel like it's gonna be Walt Disney, but
yeah, no, biggest mentor. I don't have just one. I have several mentors who I call on a weekly basis. Tyler, the Biz Ninja, is 100% one of them. He has 100% transformed my life and been there for me in some of my worst times, provided amazing opportunity, absolutely incredible guy. I have a guy whose his name is Jose. He owns a company called Aesthetic Sports. I love him. He is just wow. Like he he's kind of became like a brother figure, but he essentially is where I've always wanted to be. Gives it to me straight, and really has really been a great influence on me. And then the last one for sure, his name is Brad Bailey. He works in Calabasas. He's had multiple companies, but always that guy who he's definitely a father, and I aspire one day to be a great father, and it's definitely that dad advice I go to him. So those three people, 100%.
Cool. What is your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Oh crap. No, this is great, and it's one that's not. I am a huge fan of the Avengers movies, but it's a movie called In Time. It's with Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried, I think.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes, very old, but the concept that time is currency, and it's like time is the most important thing in the world, and if you run out of time, you die. And I literally, and how people and how the wealthy control most of the time, and the poor, are fighting for time or they die, and it's just they freedom fighters, and they're trying to give time. Everyone deserves the same amount of time. Everyone deserves equal, and I was like, yes, so. Absolutely my favorite. I cry, I laugh, and it's always super motivating.
I love movies like that. Like Inception is kind of around that, and then there's one with Halle Berry and what's his name? The guy who was in that movie with the volleyball Wilson.
No clue. Halle Berry did one? No idea.
Yeah, but it was about how you live different lives, and each life, whatever you do, affects like different times.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Something like that.
Yeah.
I love it too, man. I love it.
So the people who work with you and everything that you do and all your friends, what can they say that's like unique about you or different?
I talk way too fast, and
does no one speed up your podcast? I'm assuming.
No, they're perfect, right? And even like when I hear myself talk, I'm like, I don't talk that fast. And I'm like, yeah, I definitely don't. I definitely talk that fast. But they would 100% say. I'm very it's hard to keep my attention on like one thing. I'm very scatterbrained. So I have a great group of people who it's weird. I have like my business friends, and I have my non-business friends. I don't do any business with them at all. And then I have like my family. And I've gotten really good at like categorizing, making sure like each relationship is built off that. So my real friends would say that I'm a completely different person. I'm myself. I'm very weird and very I have a hard time staying like focused. And then my business friends would say that I am extremely like persistent, and I'm extremely direct. And I will continue being persistent and direct until it either happens or what I want happens, or I will get what I want, or it'll be a problem trying. And then my family will just say that I'm still that weird little kid who I was when I was 6. So I just got a lot taller. I was 4'11" until I was a junior in high school. So then I shot 6 feet. Yeah. So yeah, 100%.
That's cool though, how you have like a clear separation between like your business friends and just your friends' friends,
I lost so many people, man. I assume it's very common for a lot of things. Yeah. Like I started including my personal friends in businesses, and then it just got all messy, and money got involved, and ideas. And then it was like time, and it was like suddenly I didn't know how to be a friend to them anymore. It was only like, hey, where's this, what's this? And then it's just like, I hated it. Like I didn't want to be that anymore. I wanted, so I started separating friends and business colleagues, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah. It's very transactional. I think friendships, you have to like, just have trust.
No, 100%.
In business is like, there has to be some skepticism involved or getting things done. What are you currently obsessed with? Like, it could be literally anything. It could be,
Yeah. I'm currently obsessed on the idea of building a unique. So we're working on something with Emma on building something for once for myself. I've spent the last 5 or 10 years, but really last 5 focused years on building everyone else's stuff. I've built tons of brands, and I've worked with tons of brands. I've been a part of building. There's no way to take full credit, but I've worked with tons of brands, but I've never really built anything for myself. And Emma and I, for the first time, we are building something that is for us. It's a niche product that combines Disney and fitness. And it should be out hopefully the next few weeks, but we've been working hard on that. And I'm obsessed with it's weird. Like, it's so weird doing something for someone else and then doing it for yourself. And I'm like, whoa, like it's the time allocation, the motivation, like you want to, it's so much, when you're passionate about clients, yes, but when you're passionate about yourself, like and how you translate that. I've never done it, so it's a whole new feeling. So currently obsessed with building something for that myself for the first time versus everyone else, which is crazy.
That's exciting, man. Cool, man. Well, once you get your podcast like blowing up, I would love to have you on here again, talk about, your journey.
Oh my gosh, so excited. Yes, very, very thankful for all of it.
Man. Is there anything before we wrap up that you want to share with people, or anything for people who want to follow you where they can do that? So.
Yeah, my Instagram is it's Austin Clare, CLARE, AUSTINCLARE. Instagram and Facebook is I think it's my last name, but my girlfriend's is Emma1Fit. You can find her on mine. I am all about just conversation. That's really what it's been for everyone. That I've met along this journey. So if anyone wants to have a conversation, let's do it. Love it. I don't have courses. I don't have anything to sell. I don't do that. So it's just all about creating relationships and being friends. So yeah, let's do it.
Awesome, man. Thanks for being on, man. And I'll let you know when the podcast is out. Guys, if you're on the replay, give me a #replay. And thanks for tuning in.
Peace out, guys. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, you can stay on.